talk about the last episode of Inmate to Roommate. I don't know if we're going to be able to talk about everybody in this video, but we're just going to see how much we can talk about like in the next 8-10 minutes. So let's start off with Cindy and Jennifer. It seems like Cindy, when she was looking for an inmate with Jennifer, it seems like she was looking for someone to fill the void, but not just that. It looks like she was looking for a caretaker. And I feel like Cindy's friend that hooked Cindy up with Jennifer, I feel like he did that on purpose. He hooked up Jennifer with Cindy because he knew Jennifer needed a place to live, but more than anything, he wanted to give that work to someone else and take it off his plate. And that's pretty much what has happened since Jennifer has moved in with Cindy. Jennifer wants to go get her car. She has things she wants to take care of. She claims she wants to see her kids, try to find a job. But instead of being able to do those things, Cindy has Jennifer doing all this stuff to take care of her house. Jennifer helped Cindy with cleaning out her house and trying to organize it. And she just realized that Cindy has so much crap that no matter how much they clean it, it's still going to be cluttered. It's time for Cindy to get rid of some things. So next thing we know, Cindy has Jennifer going through all her junk to figure out what she's going to use for a yard sale. But the clutter, but Cindy's still keeping a lot of stuff, so they're really not making much progress. At this point, Cindy just needs to get rid of probably 60% plus of the things she has. And even Jennifer was trying to help her. Like, look, this is trash. She was trying to take some of the items that Cindy said she no longer wanted. And she's like, okay, let me take this to the trash. And she was trying to hustle to the trash. But Cindy was like, oh, no. Wait. Let me see. Oh, maybe we can use that in the garage. And Jennifer knew that she had to try to hustle to get that stuff to the trash before Cindy changed her mind. And she ended up changing her mind and ended up keeping a lot of the stuff that she claimed she wanted to get rid of. So it didn't make much progress, and it was just stressing out Jennifer even more because Jennifer is trying to declutter, and she's also trying to knock this out so she can start taking care of stuff she needs to take care of. Since she's been out of prison, this girl hasn't even been able to focus on herself. She has been having to take care of Cindy. Like, Cindy is literally treating this girl like she's her caretaker. She wants her to run to the gas station for her, to get her medication, go to the grocery store for her. She even demanded that if she ever goes somewhere, she needs to call Cindy and make sure she doesn't need anything first. And at this point, girl, you need to just hire a caretaker instead of putting all that on Jennifer, because I can see where Jennifer is getting overwhelmed and feeling like she's almost like Cindy's slave at this point. It's not worth it. I would rather be in a halfway house than have to deal with all that. And while they're organizing for the yard sale, Cindy was like, oh, I need you to go get my medication. I need you to go to the grocery store. Again, all stuff that a caretaker should be doing for her. And Jennifer was like, okay. And Jennifer didn't even make it 2 minutes down the road before Cindy is blowing her up saying, where are you at? You're taking way too long. I'm like, oh my God, this lady is way too much. Like, once I saw how Cindy was interrogating Jennifer when she got out, especially just wanting to smoke a cigarette, I'm like, I could already tell this lady was going to be a handful and a lot to deal with, because, you know, when you're sober, you don't want somebody like that who is constantly downing you, especially when it's just a freaking cigarette. Like, I can understand if maybe she went to rush and have a drink, but when you're a smoker and you get out of prison, that's just what you want. The first thing is a cigarette. And for Cindy, somebody who smokes cigarettes and who is smoking right in front of Jennifer, I feel like she didn't have much room to talk. And Jennifer went to go take care of these errands for Cindy as she's blowing her up and pretty much just ruining her whole day. She goes and gets the stuff for Cindy. She comes back and brings it back. Morning, she comes back. She brings Cindy her stuff. And then the next morning, she suddenly woke Cindy up in a panic, and she revealed that she had relapsed, which honestly, I'm not shocked because I feel like Cindy was just putting her in an environment that was constantly triggering her and testing her patience. And that is just not good for anybody. And she just got overwhelmed and she ended up using. Well, relapsing is never good, but I will give Jennifer credit that she was able to use and immediately want to get help and change that situation, because so many people relapse. The longer you continue to use, the harder it is to quit when you finally do so. So I'm proud of her for at least being able to admit that she messed up and ask for help, because it takes a lot to do that, especially while you're being filmed by all these cameras. So they decided to get all Jennifer's stuff and take her to the hospital. And Cindy says she doesn't know what to do from here. She's scared that there may be drugs still in the house. And I don't think Cindy is realizing like how much she's affecting Jennifer's mental state, and how Jennifer is not her employee or is not her caretaker, and she has to stop treating her as such, and she has to stop being so overbearing, because when you're just extremely strict like that, for a lot of people it'll make them want to do the exact opposite. If they don't have no freedom, when they do finally get a little bit of freedom, they don't know how to handle it, and next thing you know, they're in a bad situation like what happened here. Now let's talk about Emily and Jason. So Emily, I don't understand Emily. I think she's just so desperate to get some help from her rent that she's willing to risk it all at this point, because this lady said that like 13 years of her life, almost a third of her life, was ruined after someone stole her identity. And now she's moving in Jason, who was in prison for crimes dealing with fraud and stealing people's identities. And she's literally welcoming somebody into her house that did the same crime that has ruined her life. But she's willing to take a gamble just so she can get some help with rent. So Emily picks up Jason from prison, and this man is doing everything but leaving a good impression. Emily and Jason were trying to have some small talk, and she's like, I really need help with the bills, and I need you to get a job and, you know, get a paycheck. He's like, I don't even know what a paycheck is. A paycheck for me is selling a pound of dope and blowing it all at the casino. And, you know, Emily, who needs help with her rent, that's the last thing this girl wants to hear. And she's like, man, don't you want something different? Like, come on. He's like, I need to find me a sugar mama. And this man doesn't really show that he's changed so much, the way he's viewing things and what he's wanting out of life. And he's just wanting someone to take care of him instead of trying to make changes for himself. Emily ended up taking Jason out to eat. So they go out to eat. The man's complaining the whole time about the restaurant, saying it's too bougie for him and complaining about these steak skewers. I'm like, man, you really have a room to talk when you just got out of jail eating mystery meat and ramen noodles for a living, and now you're mad because you go to a bougie restaurant. I just don't understand. But she takes him to the restaurant. She lays down the rules. She's like, I'm going to need you to help with rent, and you're not allowed to have anyone over. And Jason was not feeling that, because he's like, well, you know, I just got done doing 3.5 years in prison. I'm a man, and I have needs that need to be met, and I need to hang out with a female and, you know, take out some frustration, if you know what I mean. And Emily was like, dude, no, not in my place. And he is not really willing to take no for an answer. But Emily told him straight to his face, I am not pushing back on this. If you break this rule at all, then it's over with. This is the one deal breaker. No inviting people into my house, especially while I'm at work. And she revealed that she actually had to work that night at 7 p.m. or I think she had to go home and go to work, and she was going to be working till 7 p.m. And Jason was like, okay. And then he sneaks off and he calls one of his girlfriends, Margarita, and he's like, hey, baby, you know, I'm staying at this girl's house. She doesn't want me to have people over, but you can come over as soon as she goes to work, just sneak in. And he said that he wasn't really worried about getting caught. He said worst case scenario, he'll just sneak the girl out the window. But he says that the pros outweigh the cons with this situation. I guess apparently him losing his place ain't a big deal to him as long as he gets some kitty cat. This man's acting like he has a million other options of places to go with the way he is treating his situation. He's not taking things very seriously at all. So they end up going back to the house. Emily has to leave for work. She reminds him before she leaves, no females or anyone over at my house while I'm gone. He says, oh, don't worry. You don't got to worry about nothing. Then he tells her goodbye. Jason has this girl, Margarita, pull up. She's got brown hair. She comes inside the door. They go straight to the bedroom. They didn't waste no time. They start making out. And next thing you know, they shut the bedroom door. And Jason still has his microphone on. And you can hear everything going on behind that door. They're moaning and groaning and having a good old time between the sheets. And then, next thing you know, Cindy comes home, and Cindy walks in the door, and she already knew something was not right when she walked in that door, because she saw a pair of yellow heels right next to the door that did not belong to her. She rushed over to Jason's door and pounded on it and told him that he needed to have whoever was in his room leave right now. Jason opens the door. He's like, come on, please let her stay. She's like, dude, I told you, don't have anybody over here. She needs to leave now, and I hope you start taking things more serious. And when he opened the door, you could see the girl in the background on his bed, and it was a blonde girl. It was a completely different girl than the Margarita girl we saw get there as soon as Emily left for work. So this man had at least 2 different girls over at Emily's place while she was at work, and probably more than that. I wouldn't be shocked. And this man, I still have not seen him take a shower since he got out of prison. So he got out of prison, did take a shower, and while Margarita was on her way over, he rushes to the bathroom. This man used hand soap and a paper towel to clean his armpits to try to get the jail smell off him. And I'm sorry, that is not enough to get the jail smell off you. You need to have a good bubble bath, or at least like a good 30-minute shower to get that jail smell off you. You can't just do a quick little scrub under your armpits. Like, I feel bad for those 2 girls that hooked up with him, because I'm sure they could smell prison all over him. And that's just not a smell that's going to turn you on. So this man washed up in the sink, had Margarita over, slept with her, sends her on her way, has this blonde girl over, hooks up with her, and didn't take a shower in between both girls. And we're not sure if those are the only 2 girls that came over. I'm like, this man is nasty. And he probably didn't use protection with either one of them either. And if he's doing this the first night that he is out, then I can't even imagine what is in store for the future with this man. And Emily is already annoyed, and she feels like she cannot trust him at all. And I just feel bad because, I mean, what do you expect when you move an inmate in? But that has to be a terrible feeling to welcome someone in your house and go to work. And it's not like you can skip work, because she has bills that need to be paid. She's already struggling, and she has to go to work and think about what the hell Jason is doing at her house, and who he has coming in and out of her house all night while she's working. Like, I can't even imagine the load of stress that is putting on her plate right now. But that is it for this video, guys. But let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Do you think these 2 living situations are going to last? Let me know. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.